Welcome back to Rebuilding WoW in Unity. This is Devlog number 9. And in this week, I had to redo my entire UI system because I did it wrong. Initially, I was handcrafting my UI in this client because I didn't need to do anything more. But now that this project has grown quite significantly and I'm wanting to implement more gameplay features, the UI is kind of a limiting factor now. World of Warcraft is a really UI heavy game. A lot of the gameplay stems from the UI. So and what I was doing before was I was handcrafting everything. Like the login screen, I would manually place the buttons where they need to be and try and match the retail clients. But now I don't do that. I read in the exact same UI files, the XML files and the Lua files that the retail client uses, and I took the time to build out that system, which converts those Blizzard files into Unity files, specifically the UGUI and C# equivalents, you can think. Because, how you map the XML and Lua to Unity is it's up to you on how much you put into either. So I've tried to make sense of it. I'm probably going to change it as I go, but for now it sort of works. So so if we go into a bit more detail, Blizzard's UI system is best thought of in two parts. The first part is what's called the GlueXML, and the GlueXML is all the UI involved when you're not in the game. So things like the login screen, the character select screen, the character creation screen, even little things like the realm selection window. These are all what's called GlueXML, and there's fewer UI files when it comes to the glue side of things. And when you enter the game, all of this UI is what's called FrameXML. And that's the second part. So things like the minimap, the action bar, the main menu bar, portrait frames, the bag windows, all of that. This is all the FrameXML. So I've had to work on supporting both. And so on the retail clients, I've got it. So the Glue XML is quite faithful and changing, creating your own characters. Such there's some quirks, like it could do with some more polishing and whatnot, but it's largely there. Blood elf male earrings. Like there's little things that aren't right. But yeah, so the Glue XML side is pretty good. We'll now go into the game world. You can see that the characters appeared here. On the Unity client side, loading is far slower now, and that's because right at the beginning, I load all of the FrameXML files that exist, which is not efficient at all, but for the sake of making it the reason I'm loading everything was because I wanted to make sure I'm passing through every Lua file, every XML file, every Lua file, and if there are any errors in my parsing of those files, I want to see that. As well as it gets created into UGUI equivalents, I want to see if it did it or not. I think at some point I will trim that down. I'm not quite sure yet how to decide what gets loaded when, but that's tomorrow me's problem. For now, I'm focusing on getting it correct, and then we'll optimize it later. But yeah, so once this loads, I think it takes about 1:30 to get through the loading screen. So that's pretty terrible. This one was just instant. Yeah. So as you could see on the Unity clients, I got the FrameXML sort of working now, and yeah, I also spent some time actually. Yeah, there's a few things. The character controller I've changed, so this is more like the character controller of the retail clients. I've got strafing, right mouse button moving the camera. If I do left mouse button and move around, I can kind of like hold a position somewhere. And then when I start moving, camera rotates around behind the character. So it does feel more like it. And it's interesting because you may notice on the retail client, as I'm moving around, it doesn't jump as bad as it did in previous videos. And I think that is largely, I didn't modify the retail client. The only thing I modified was the Unity client, and I suspect it was to do with the speed values that I've set, as well as like presumably the speed. I think I've turned it down a bit, but yeah, the player movement is quite good. I'm sure there's some more tuning I can do. Yeah, yeah, I think the jumping is a bit off, but we'll get there. And also, actually, so if we look on the Unity client side, and if I move this guy around, he moves around like a bumper car, but it's good enough for now, I think. Yeah, so I mean, the main reason, so I did add some like interpolation between the position data that I'm receiving over time. The problem is, it isn't the same sort of data that you would get for like NPCs and monsters. So you don't get quite as you don't get as much information about other player movements as you do about, say, monster movements. I guess with monster movements, the server knows exactly where the monster is about to like end up. Like they know the destination of like where it's heading. Whereas with players, they could just stop abruptly, and so it works differently, and that's why there's that stutter when you play the retail clients generally. But the retail client does do a lot of like polish, you could call it, to make it not look as janky as how mine is. So yeah, that's all in. On the last notes regarding the UI, so you may notice I actually have like 4:3 aspect ratio here, but I do support 16:9 and 16:10 and such, and that was something I thought I just wanted. I like the 4:3 aspect ratio. It gives me that old feeling. It's also quite useful when developing on a single 1080p monitor, where you like if I can try and show you what it would look like. This would be the sort of layout in Unity, and if I had it in 16:9, yeah, you got all this dead space, but with 4:3, it just fits nicely. So that's quite handy. And yeah, so there's, in terms of actual interactions, there isn't too much. So like things like button presses do register for some of the buttons, but they're not really doing anything. I get just warnings, lots of warnings. So button presses and interacting with the UI will come much later, but soon. I also have tooltip support. So now when I hover over the mouse over entities in the game, I can see like a little identifier in the bottom right as to what am I hovering over. That was just to wire up the tooltip UI game object that I have, and yeah, it's kind of cool. I suspect I will be using this identifier to look up what this NPC is called, and are they like a shopkeeper or something. There's all sorts. So yeah, that's really all I have in terms of UI. But yeah, I'll leave it here so that I can talk about the next thing. So before I wrap up this video, I wanted to briefly talk about the project goal. And in the last video, I posed a question to you all saying, or asking, do you want to see more graphical changes, or would you like to see more gameplay changes? And it was interesting to read through the comments, and there were good reasons for both. However, I think for me, I was more swayed by the gameplay argument, because I think right now with where this project is, it could be seen as like, oh well, is this much more than a model viewer, like a glorified model viewer? And I don't really want that. There's no point me putting all of this into a game engine like Unity for it to just be a walking model viewer. So for me, I think the goal with this project has to kind of be gameplay oriented. And so I thought, okay, where do I want to take this project? Like, is there something I can say, yeah, if I am capable of doing this, then this project is complete in my eyes. And I decided on killing this guy, Hogger. Um, why Hogger? Well, first I wanted to kind of focus in on one starting zone. There are, 8 starting zones. I don't really want to do all of them. And so I thought, okay, let's pick one. Let's pick Elwyn Forest as the starting zone. Let's be able to create a character. I'm not sure how many classes I'll support, but at least there'll be one class that I'll support properly. I want to be able to pick up quests. I want to be able to kill monsters. I want to be able to pick up items like quest items, but also like herbalism or mining nodes and that sort of stuff. I want to level a character from level 1 to level 12-ish when I would be able to kill Hogger. And Hogger, I think, represents like the end of the starting zone, in my view at least. So killing Hogger will, I think, wrap this project up nicely, and it will mark kind of the end of the beginning. There will be more that comes afterwards. Will it involve this client? That remains to be seen. But I think I've got something I'm aiming towards now, which is I want to kill this guy. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that project goal. Does it suck? Let me know. But yeah, I think it's something. And I will share what comes afterwards as I get nearer to that time. But to be fair, I don't think this client is anywhere near ready to kill Hogger just yet. So we've got quite a number of weeks ahead, I think. But yeah, no, thank you for watching. Please, reach out if you've got any questions or comments. I enjoy reading them, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.